Hello, magical friends. How's it going out there? My name is Meg Moonbeam, and welcome back to my channel, my YouTube Rumble, which I just see is not plugged in. I'm going to plug that in right now. YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. How are we doing out there? Mercury retrograde, Sagittarius season, and new moon in Sagittarius coming right up, which is what I want to specifically talk about in today's video. So thank you guys so much for joining, whether you're tuning in live or you're catching the replay. Hello, Chrissy, and hello, Laura and Larry. Laura, you're at the Vegas airport about to board. Headed to Tucson. How Sagittarius of you. Wishing you safe and joyous travels and happy Thanksgiving to all my American friends and soul family out there. Love you guys so, so much. Before we get into today's astrology, please remember you guys to like, share, and subscribe to my Meg Moonbeam channels. All my links, socials, readings, courses, all in the description box below. And very special workshop that I'm going to start hosting actually tomorrow from when I'm filming this video. I'm filming this on Wednesday, November 27th, and I'm going to be live from Thursday, November 28th to Sunday, December 1st for 2025 Astrology Predictions Live Workshop. So I'm going to go through all 12 signs, the most important transits, my intuitive predictions, astrological remedies as we head into this absolutely historical once-in-a-lifetime year. Not normal astrology, as we've already been going through. So I'm going to break that down. The link is in the description box below. Go sign up if it calls out to you. So yeah, new moon in Sagittarius. We're going to be having exact on Sunday, December 1st. Depends what part of the world that you are in. For me, when I do the charts, I put in Eastern time because I'm a Canadian chick from Toronto, Canada. So got up the chart for the exact time of the new moon, Sunday, December 1st at 1:21 a.m. Eastern time. And this is a really interesting new moon that we've got coming up because it is in the sign of Sagittarius, which is one of the lighter, uplifting signs in astrology. And it is at a Sagittarius degree, 9 degrees, okay? But there's some funny things going on with this new moon, which does not make it a typical new moon energy and influence. And I'm curious to hear from you guys. How have you guys been feeling? Because I've been feeling really like on a high the past few weeks, especially since after, of course, the US election. And many of us have been saying that we felt like we're on some kind of timeline shift within the past couple of weeks. I've definitely been picking up on that intuitively, but I don't know if it's just me. Let me know in the live chat if you guys are going through this too. But today I felt a drop in energy, and that might just be me personally, or maybe it is the current transits. I got Mercury retrograde on my North Node, going to be on my Venus. So maybe it's just that. I'm curious to hear if anyone else is picking that up, because just felt like today when I woke up a lower energy. So is it the collective? Is it just me? MJ, hi MJ, says, I've been sick in bed the last couple days. Aw, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sending you love and big cuddles, and I hope that you get better soon. I've been seeing a lot of people saying that in the comments lately, like they've been sick or they have family members been sick. So interesting. We can also see with Mercury going retrograde, Mercury is one of the planets that does rule health in astrology. You know, our immune systems can be a bit weaker. We can be more inclined to get sick. So yeah, let me know how you guys are feeling. Maybe it's just me. I'm a Scorpio with my Mars in Cancer. So when you've got Mars in Cancer or you're a water sign, we're like very sensitive to the collective energies, and we can kind of get moody out of nowhere. And yeah, that's like a water sign thing. Shout out to all my water signs. So I was definitely feeling just some of that, just being in a mood, being in a little bit of a mood today. So let's, get more into this new moon in Sagittarius. So why this is not a normal new moon is because new moons are our time in the lunar cycle of new beginnings, setting our intentions, fresh new energies, and new starts. And it's in Sagittarius. The moon likes to be in Sagittarius. This is the sign of luck, hope, optimism, expansion, higher consciousness, our beliefs, foreign travel, foreign people, among many other things. But we've got the dispositor of this new moon, which is Jupiter, in an opposition to Mercury retrograde. Okay, so dispositor is, whatever is the ruling planet of the sign that something is in. So the new moon is in Sagittarius. Jupiter rules Sagittarius in Western astrology. So Jupiter, the dispositor, in opposition to Mercury. And of course, Jupiter expands whatever it's touching. So it's expanding that Mercury retrograde influence in the sign of Sagittarius, our new moon sign as well. So it's a funny new moon where, yes, we can be putting our intentions out there, whatever that means to you. But I've been really feeling this theme with this new moon that we don't have the whole picture. And there's a lot that's about to be revealed to us in our personal lives, as well as the collective, where maybe certain intentions, goals, dreams, desires, wishes that we had, and maybe we had some of those for our whole life, are going to shift and change direction. And before I went live, I was getting this intuitive message very strong that, we've been in this certain Saturnian system and structure of life during the age of Pisces, during Pluto and Capricorn, more specifically the past 16 years, that is dead and dying. And we are now entering the age of Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius, all of the outer planets entering lighter signs, fire and air signs as we go into 2025 and 2026. Saturn-Neptune conjunction happening next year. I'm going to do whole other videos just on that topic because that's a really big deal, that great conjunction. All these things heralding, we are stepping into a whole new world. And we are coming from this previous world that we've been used to the systems and structures of that. And a lot of our desires, intentions, goals, and dreams have been from that older structure, not necessarily taking into account that we're actually stepping into this new age of Aquarian future. Now, I'm not saying everybody's dreams, throw them out the window. I'm not saying your dreams aren't going to come true or that your intentions are wrong. Just feeling really strongly that there might be some things that are going to need to be shifted in our intentions, in our goals. Okay. So it's strange to have a new moon in Sagittarius, which should be go for the highest dreams, put your intentions out there, expand, be in your higher consciousness, do a visualization, do a spiritual practice. That's Sagittarius. Sagittarius fucking loves spirituality, loves meditating, loves putting their intentions out there, loves being fearless. But Jupiter's opposite Mercury, making it kind of confusing. There's something we're not totally seeing clearly. There's something that needs to be reassessed, Mercury, right? So I'm going to talk about the collective for this new moon. Then I'm going to get into each of the 12 signs of where we need to reassess our goals and intentions, what area of life. So we're going to go through all the 12 signs. And sorry, I just lost my train of thought. What was I about to say? Oh yeah. And also Granddaddy Saturn is in a square to this new moon. So, Granddaddy Saturn is time and the long-term goals. So how, Saturn's like, no, there's something to reassess here. There's something really important to reassess. That's okay. Thank you. That's what I'm feeling very strong. It's like not just something little to reassess, like what kind of car you're going to buy. No, there's something very big in whatever area of life in your chart, you have 9 degrees of Sagittarius, and we're going to go through all 12 of the signs. It's actually something really big that needs to be reassessed. It needs to be looked at, re-looked at. And it's good to be doing reflection, meditation, sacred pause in that area. And with this new moon in Sagittarius, even though Mercury's retrograde, when we surrender to meditation and being in the present moment, there's amazing clarity and insights that can come through with the Mercury retrograde. And Sagittarius rules our higher consciousness and also divine insights. MJ says, I actually pulled the 55 angel card. Shift makes sense. So cool. I actually have my angel number cards too, MJ. I'll go grab those in a few minutes when we do the cards for the collective for this new moon. So, you know, Sagittarius rules a lot of different areas of life, and we're going to see beliefs be really highlighted. I find it really interesting that, you know, Thanksgiving, for all my American friends and soul family out there, you're having that this weekend with this new moon, because there's going to be some really big, people are going to be really showing their beliefs with that Jupiter opposition to Mercury. And we want to be mindful of, you know, what's worth the fight. Okay. And I've been giving this example a lot recently of when to open the door with a loved one, right? So if you're watching my channel, if you're listening to an astrology video, you're probably open to the alternative, the woo, the mystic, the magical, the spiritual, all that kind of stuff. And what I've learned on my journey so far is you cannot force anybody to wake up out of the matrix, back into their mind, body, spirit connection. It's something that they themselves will do when their soul is ready. Okay. So it's okay. We can express our beliefs. I'm not saying don't express yourselves at the Thanksgiving dinner table if you want to with your family. Express yourself, be yourself. But if it's going to go into an argumentative place, if it's going to go into a place where you feel like you have to save someone because their beliefs maybe aren't actually what they think they are, it's not really going to work unless that receiving end, that person has opened the door with you energetically, meaning that instead of them saying things like, oh, you're freaking crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist, you're a Nazi, right? Those are like actually disrespects. That's closing the door. Opening the door would be someone going, you know, I saw those things you've been posting in your story and kind of interested in that. Can we talk more about that? Or, you know, I just have this feeling like there's more than what's going on. And I feel like I'm opening up spiritually. That's examples of people opening the door. And that's where us as light workers and starseeds, we can be of service to others. We can be in the Sagittarian spiritual guide, spiritual advisor, mentor, helper, friend, teacher. That's Sagittarius. So there will be opportunities for some of us to be in our teacher, to be in our guide, to share our wisdom. But we want to make sure that the people on the receiving end are actually opening the door and that we're not forcing things upon others. We're not being overly preachy upon others, because a dark side of Sagittarius is to be overly preachy. Okay. I love Sagittarius. I've got a Sagittarius stellium in my chart. My husband's a Sagittarius. One of my best friends is Sagittarius. And I notice even within myself, I notice it within myself. Sagittarians can be preachy at times when no one's asking for it. Right? And sometimes it can go into a really intense place that could actually be detrimental to the person on the receiving end, because it's like too much information overload, right? If somebody's just waking up and they're having like a mental breakdown and are like totally tripping up, maybe we don't want to talk about reptilians for 3 hours with them, right? Barno says, as a Saggy, I am overly preachy. The biggest thing I always have to keep in check. Yes, yeah, it's one of those kind of shadow sides to be aware of as a Saggy. But why are you guys overly preachy? Because you have a lot of divine wisdom, and Saggies know from their divine knowing that spirit is real, that our consciousness is expansive. You guys, it's not a concept, it's a knowing for Sagittarius. It's a way of being. So you're very passionate about sharing that. MJ says, absolutely learn that close the door lesson the hard way and waiting if it will ever open up. Yeah, totally there with you, MJ, totally there with you. So for each of us personally, there's great wisdom that can come through. Sagittarius rules wisdom and our higher mind that can come through for us through meditation, through just day-to-day signs and synchronicities, through our feelings, through our thoughts around this new moon, around whatever area of life. We have 9 degrees of Sag, and we'll go through all 12 of the signs. For the collective, this is huge dismantling of beliefs. I mean, if you look at, we got a lot of woke stuff going on and people starting to snap out of that. Also, this week in particular, 2 things that really caught my eye. This is a CNN article. Okay, CNN. Could Elon Musk really buy MSNBC? So there's chit chat that Elon Musk might be buying MSNBC. I mean, imagine that. Imagine if the legacy media started to turn into actually like freedom of speech organizations. That would be a total Pluto in Aquarius shock and surprise, right? That, if that goes through, that will completely dismantle people's beliefs. So this is something that we might hear about with this new moon in Sagittarius, Elon Musk buying MSNBC or maybe another news platform, because Sagittarius does rule in astrology publishing and foreign relations and sharing information like out in a foreign way, which could be, you know, considered MSNBC as well. Another thing that really caught my eye this week that I feel like has to do with this new moon. And I mean, there's podcasts all the time. There's survivors speaking out all the time. Just bear with me one sec, you guys. Let me bring this up here. This is the PBD podcast. Okay. This past week, I don't know what this dude's name is, but he had Annika Lucas on his podcast, who Jens introduced me to, my husband Jens from Belgium. She is a sex trafficking survivor, Annika Lucas. And this is the biggest podcast that she's been on thus far. And if you guys are truth seekers, if you guys are fellow like conspiracy nuts like me, you're going to want to go check out Annika Lucas, because she's a very well-spoken SRA survivor. Okay. And she just went on this podcast, which is the biggest one that she ever did. And it's going to get like millions of views probably. Another thing dismantling people's beliefs, like the fact that this whole past age of Pisces system has not been what we were told from the mainstream it is, right? Like there's literal leaders that have been psychopaths that are feeding off of our energy, that are doing crazy shit behind closed doors that seems unbelievable, right? I highly recommend Annika Lucas's book. It's a very hard read, Quest for Love, Memoirs of a Child Sex Slave. I'll actually bring that up really quick. So highly recommend, go to PBD podcast if you want to. The podcast is called Trained as a Spy at 10. Sex trafficking survivor Annika Lucas names her billionaire abusers. This is also going to be part of Pluto and Aquarius transit. Pluto rules sex. Pluto rules sex trafficking. Pluto rules satanic ritual abuse. Aquarius is the collective of humanity. So this is going to be a huge revealing. And Annika Lucas, I think, is definitely going to be one of the leaders of that. So why I bring this up as an example is just huge things coming forward that are going to continue to dismantle people's beliefs around this new moon in Sagittarius. And it's not going to be comfortable. Okay. It's Granddaddy Saturn in square to this new moon. It's like reality checks, Saturn, that are not comfortable. And even for us in the truther community, like listening to that Annika Lucas podcast, I had the realization when I was watching it. I was like, she named David Rockefeller, Pierre Trudeau, having a brain fart, who else, as people that were perpetrators of hers. And I was watching this podcast and I was like, this should be front page news all over Canada. When are we going to have the news sources where this is front page news all over Canada, right? That is coming. I mean, if Elon Musk buys MSNBC, these type of things will be front news stories. And that is a whole dismantling of belief systems that's going to be coming up. So hope I'm making sense. Am I making sense how I'm explaining this, guys? Because I really hope I am. This is a big new moon. This is a big new moon. This is the first new moon with Pluto in Aquarius. So even though it's not the best new moon to be really hard set on your intentions and like, this is what it is and I'm putting them out there, write down your intentions, meditate on them, be open to change, be open to them shifting. Okay. I actually really like this new moon for there's still reassessment. There's still big release. This is our first new moon with Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is like big breakthroughs and wisdom that is going to come through for the collective with this new moon, and wherever we each have 9 degrees of Sagittarius, because that's where the new moon is. Also very interesting that the United States of America has its rising sign in its astrology chart at 12 degrees of Sagittarius. So actually, let me pull that up. I forgot to pull that up. Mercury retrograde moment over here. Okay, bear with me one sec, you guys. I'm just going to go onto my astrology program and I want to bring up that chart. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Okay. Yeah, so the USA, and I'm just going to bring this chart up here. And our transits is, what's today? For me, it's midnight in Belgium, but I'm going to put in the time of the new moon. Let me bring that up. New chart. December 1st. And let me know, you guys, if you feel like it, what you intuitively feel, because I know I got lots of fellow empaths out there, what you guys feel with this new moon energy. Transits. Okay, perfect. I'll bring that up. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be more interesting than I thought. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is the transit chart for the US for this new moon on December 1st. So in the middle rim is the United States of America chart. The outer rim is the transits, December 1st, the astrology of December 1st. So see, you guys, how the moon, the new moon, right? Sun and moon are always conjunct on a new moon. 9 degrees, 3 degrees off of being exactly conjunct the rising sign of the US. So the US, how the US is seen, right? The rising represents how we are seen and being seen. The USA is being seen for something. The USA is being in the spotlight with this new moon. Now, of course, the USA is already in the spotlight because you guys have just had your election. You guys have just elected President Trump. There's a lot of developments going on there. Okay. But let's see what else is going on with this. Transit Jupiter has been in an opposition to the rising. Interesting. And Granddaddy Saturn, look at that, 12 degrees Pisces, is exactly in square to the USA rising at the time of this new moon. So it has to do with politics. It has to do with government. It has to do with law and order. And Mercury retrograde, 20 degrees Sag in the first house. So I'm seeing, interesting, Chrissy is saying Libra open enemies being revealed with Jupiter in the 7th. Yes, very good call, for sure. 7th house open enemies, 12th house hidden enemies. Very good call. People being revealed. I totally agree with you, Chrissy. And maybe some news that isn't something that people want to hear. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. I'm just going to read the astrology. Now, I'm not saying something negative is going to happen, but you guys know that I've been predicting that I think Joe Biden isn't going to be the president until Inauguration Day. Serenity intact. You're reading my mind. I was going to say girlfriend. I don't know if you're a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I'm going to say girlfriend. I feel like you're a girl. Yeah, that was a part of my official election predictions, that Kamala is, I think, going to step in as, I don't know if the right word is intermittent president. I know Joe Biden is not real. This sleeping giant, I know that Joe Biden is not real. It has nothing to do with Joe Biden not being real. What we are seeing as them, what we are seeing as Kamala will step in. Kamala is a Libra. Yeah, she's a Libra with, isn't her moon in, no, Libra, Gemini rising, moon in Aries. Interim. Yeah, thank you, Angela. So this is going to be very interesting new moon for the US. Mercury retrograde in the first house in an opposition to Jupiter in the 7th. Confusing news. It can feel like going backwards. Some news or some development is going to come up having to do with politics or governments, because Saturn, Granddaddy Saturn, is exactly square the rising. Okay, that only happens every 29 years, you guys. So that's freaking crazy for a new moon to be conjunct the rising with Granddaddy Saturn exactly square. So this is definitely one of the portals of opportunity where I think Kamala might step in, or there's a major shakeup politically. Major shakeup politically. And, you know, Pluto is 0 degrees of Aquarius. So it's like, if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that I say with Aquarius, it's unpredictability. It's unpredictability. Things not exactly how we think it's going to go. Whether you're an astrologer, whether you're a tarot reader, you know, whatever you are. So now, let me just take a peek at everything else here. Moon. Yeah. And the moon can also represent women on the rising. Are we looking at America because there's now a woman that's in the spotlight? Okay, I don't want this to happen. I actually want to be totally wrong about this. I want to be wrong about this. But just reading the astrology here, there's a major change coming geopolitically for the US December 1st and the days surrounding that. Now, it doesn't feel chaotic to me. It doesn't feel scary to me because Pluto's not in bad aspects. Yes, we've got the Mars-Pluto opposition, but it's, it's 5 degrees off. It's not like super strong. So yes, there's that. But it's not like an exact Mars-Pluto opposition. It's not like Pluto-Saturn together. It's, you always, whenever you're looking at something in astrology that it might be weird, you always want to see what's going on with Pluto, because Pluto rules the worst of the worst. Pluto is the darkest aspects of life. So as long as Pluto is good, then it's not going to be that screwed up. I got the thumbs up. So yeah, going to be very, very interesting. And if there's anything that I haven't mentioned that I'm not aware of, you guys, anything that you know politically is a development with the US, please let me know in the comments below. I try to keep up with as much as possible. Love Truth says, yes, I have the feeling that chaos is coming. If the Brunson case is in favor of Trump, Biden must leave. But it also means the government was nothing but a lie. Trump steps in right away on December 1st. I don't know a whole lot about the Brunson case. I haven't been keeping up with that. So thanks for sharing that, Love Truth. We'll see. We'll see about that. We will see. Okay. Now let's talk about each of the 12 signs. Actually, before we do that, let's pull a few cards. Let's pull some cards for this new moon in Sagittarius. For all of us as a collective, it don't matter what sign you are. What is our guidance for all of us, for our highest good as we step into this new moon in Sagittarius? What is our divine guidance? Ooh. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Okay. We've got the sun. We've got the debilitated card, discomfort. And we've got Mars, motion. This is interesting because actually today, as I'm filming this video for the new moon in Sag, the sun and Mars are in an exact trine to each other, and they will still be in a trine, doing little movements here. They will still be in a trine at the time of the new moon on Sunday. So interesting. And that trine is about empowerment. And Mars is also not just trying the sun, but also tried the North Node in Aries right now. Mars is the dispositor of the North Node. So, okay, there's divine guidance. Like, this is a time of, this new moon is empowering, but it's not comfortable. The debilitated card, discomfort. It's not comfortable. Saturn square the moon, Jupiter opposite Mercury, information overload, confusing information, something coming out of left field that can feel like a step back, but actually we're being empowered. And I'm hearing Spirit say everything is going according to plan. That's interesting. Everything is going according to plan. The sun and Mars, these are the two heavenly bodies of our life force energy and our motivation and our will. And they're both tied to warriorship. So this feel, and that's funny because I was feeling this even before the cards, like this is not your average new moon. This is not your average new moon. This is very powerful. First new moon with Pluto and Aquarius, and it's empowering. So we're going to talk about that for each of the 12 signs. First, let's pull a divine circus card because I've been really feeling these cards lately. because it feels like we're living in a crazy circus at the moment. Divine Circus by Alana Fairchild. Love this deck. So what's our Divine Circus guide for this new moon in Sagittarius? Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I pulled this exact same Divine Circus card the other day. I feel like I'm going to cry. I don't know why. I think it was in my Sagittarius season video that I recently did, or it might have been the Astro Woo for December. It was one of those two. This was the same. I just pulled this the other day for all of us. So there is a ton of cards in this deck. There's lots of cards, and I pulled the exact same card 2 times in a row. Holy guacamole, you guys. And I did read it last time. I'm going to read it again. Sometimes when we get something twice, I feel like it's because Spirit is going, okay, you didn't get the message, right? Or maybe it just wants to be re-amplified. Clown of Crossroads. Opportunity is upon you, though it may seem like a farewell to what you have known. This chance is a crossroad, a time when you can go left or right. You cannot continue with everything as it has been, and this means that something will have to be released for something else to be gained. It's time for you to take your chances and make a choice. The Clown of Crossroads comes when you are at a choice point, a time for you to make a decision and realize that your life does not have to continue on as it has been anymore. You are at a pattern-breaking, life-changing moment, or soon will be. When she comes to you, she tells you that it is time for a new phase of life to begin. The crossroads often means leaving something behind as a rite of passage. Wow. Oh my gosh. So I feel like the Clown of Crossroads is sharing that one way we can actually work with this new moon, like if you want to do a ritual or a ceremony, is actually doing a rite of passage of really actually letting something go or removing something from your life. Because when we do that, and I said this the last time we pulled this card and I'm feeling it again, when you want to call something in, there needs to be space for that intention to be called in, right? Or if you want to change a pattern, if you want to stop drinking alcohol every day, you're going to have to replace that with something. So it's like a juggling act. So that's actually a really cool ritual practice that we can do with this new moon, is really deciding to let something go so that you can attract whatever those intentions are that you are feeling. But there's also this circus act of being open to those intentions possibly even changing. And we are at a major crossroads. Yeah, Laura says, make room for something better. And isn't it interesting how this clown, she looks kind of sad. There's like a tear, right? But she's wearing all pink. So this is like total Jupiter opposite Mercury. It's like, it kind of doesn't make sense. Why is this very sad clown? We're all in pink. We can even be feeling like things might not make sense. I'm hearing Spirit say that with this new moon. If you're feeling like things aren't making sense, you're actually on the right track. And that sounds totally weird. That sounds totally weird for me to say, but we are entering totally new territory. Pluto is now in Aquarius. All the outer planets are changing signs in 2025. Things are not staying the way that they are now. So if you are feeling off, if you are feeling confused, if you're feeling like, what the fuck is going on right now? That's actually kind of a good thing, because you're tuning into what's actually going on right now. Because it is kind of weird. It is weird. We are living in a time on Earth where we're in between timelines, worlds, and it's weird. It's weird. There can also be, I'm feeling mood swings with this new moon. We're in an in-between realm. We're in a crossroads. So yes, new moons are typically about setting your intention and putting that out there. Woo, but there's actually a big release and reassessment. Yeah, MJ, leave the old you behind. I love that. Leave the old you behind. Oh my God. I'm going to pull a bonus Divine Circus card. That is so wild that we got that twice. That whenever that happens to me, and I do cards like all the time, been doing cards for over, I don't even know how long, over 15 years. It still freaks me out when you get the same card like twice in a row really soon after the last time. Ooh. We've got Gypsy Columbine. She doesn't look as sad as the Clown of Crossroads, but she's kind of like meh. She looks tired. Okay, I'll do this really quick and then we'll get to the 12 signs. Bonus circus card, Gypsy Columbine. The free spirit in you is rewilding itself, shedding social conditioning and past patterns of behavior. It is shaking off socialization and emerging anew like a snake shedding its skin. The wild one within isn't a savage. It is raw, yes, but also wise, authentic, beautiful, and with a deep instinctive knowing as to what you must be. Can a bird ever truly be happy whilst trying to be a fish? True freedom is to be truthfully yourself. That's so cool, because Sagittarius rules higher truths. So why are we at a crossroads? And we feel weird, and we can feel kind of sad, and we can kind of cry out of nowhere, and it's kind of trippy, because we've been living in a world where our wildness, our creativity, our true nature, our mind, body, spirit connection they have tried everything. And when I say they, I mean those darker forces have tried everything to take that away from us. But the truth always wins, love always wins. And this is Aquarius. This is the rebel. This is the rebel. This is humanity coming out of the ashes into a bright new age, rewilding and being our most amazing selves again. That is so freaking cool. Okay, thank you for those cards, and hope that resonated with you guys. Yes, MJ. Yep. Time to shed that old skin. We've been dumbed down no more. Totally. Okay, let's get into each of the 12 signs for this new moon. And for each of the 12 signs, what I really want to focus with you guys is, where do we need to reassess? What area of life are we being called based on our sun, moon, rising? I highly suggest you listen to sun and rising most importantly. Where are we being called to reassess, reevaluate, and where there's profound wisdom and downloads that can come through with this new moon. And I'm going to have a sip of my sparkling water for a moment. Okay, Aries. This is in your 9th house, right? So Aries in the solar charts, you have Sagittarius in the 9th house, the Sagittarius house. So reassessing your beliefs. What are your core higher truths? What is your spiritual foundation? What do you believe and why do you believe it? And where did that belief come from? So there's a lot of Aries that can be going through profound, whether you're a conscious Aries or you're unconscious Aries, profound, divine insights that can be coming through. Remember, Sagittarius is divine wisdom, divine insights, right? And some of you Aries might be traveling in a foreign location around this new moon, doing foreign travel around foreign people, learning a higher subject. And there's reassessing going on there. There's reflection going on in that space as well. So this is very much about your beliefs and what you are learning on the higher level. Okay, Aries. So great new moon for you to be meditating. Sagittarius is one of the signs that rules meditation. Be in your higher consciousness and see what wants to come through as higher wisdom. Very profound insights you can be having, Saggies. Love you guys. Okay, Taurians. This is in your 8th house. Okay, I'm a Taurus rising. It's kind of scary. I'll be honest. This new moon in your 8th house, not necessarily something bad going on, but this is deep shit coming to the surface, my fellow Tauruses. Okay, because the 8th house is the deepest parts of ourself, deepest parts of our psyche and our trauma and our secrets and what's hidden. And there can be things that we feel shame or repression around coming up to the surface. This has to do with, the 8th house is really underrated about like our soulmate relationships. So it's in alignment to be reassessing your committed soulmate relationships, your hidden money, hidden finances. Not a good new moon to be, I'm going to put $2,000 in this new crypto. Hold on. We're not making any crazy decisions with this new moon. We're surrendering and we're being in the moment. This is a great new moon, Taurus, for you. There's likely to be some intense stuff coming up to the surface and maybe some challenges, okay? Because this is in your 8th house. So shadow work is very good for you, this new moon. Mirror work, like looking at yourself in the mirror, having a conversation with yourself in a mirror, that's very intense. Shamanic healing, psychotherapy, right? There's secrets that may come to light. The 8th house rules secrets that can come to light from the past that can set you free. Sagittarius is one of the signs of freedom, right? So by going through the reassessment of whatever area we have Sagittarius, by working with that, there's a freedom that will come. There's a liberation that will come. So Taurus says, I think with this new moon, you're being liberated by something heavy that's been weighing on you. And don't be afraid to ask for help if you need to. You've got Mars in the 4th house in trine to this new moon, helpful family members, helpful women are available to you. Okay. So very intense. And also Pluto at the top of your chart. So this is like Let me know, Tauruses, how you guys are doing, because I'm curious to hear about that. Love you so, so much. Barno says, my girlfriend is a Taurus. She's growing at a rapid pace. She is reassessing what she knows and how she uses her wisdom for herself. But she is busy with it not yet. Had a true breakthrough in my eyes. Very cool. Thanks for sharing that, Barno. Okay, Geminis. My voice, I'm sorry, you guys, my voice is a little bit today. Don't know what's going on. You've got Sagittarius in your 7th house. So this is about reevaluating, reflecting on your love life, your committed love and work relationships, your commitments, your contracts, your partnerships. And for some Geminis, with Saturn in the 10th house, Saturn is at home in the 10th house, in square to this new moon, there may be some reality checks about relationships that aren't in alignment with you anymore. And I'm hearing intuitively for some of the Geminis that the fairy tale is ending. So I'm not saying all Geminis are going through a breakup, but I think a lot of Geminis might be on the precipice of a breakup or really having some big reality checks about who they're with in love, in work. Are the people that you surround yourself with in alignment with Sagittarius is your higher ideals, higher beliefs? Do they lift you up? I'm hearing Spirit say. Gemini, do they lift you up? Because you guys, and I know Geminis and Scorpios, I'm a Scorpio, I get it. We get so poo-pooed by all the other signs. We're like, oh, Geminis are crazy. Geminis light people up. You bring a lot of light. And so are the people around you bringing you light, or are they wearing you down? Are there Saturn in the 10th house powerful people that are kind of like making you feel less than? Reevaluate who you surround yourself with, Gemini. And also be open to the people around you, because 7th house is others, receiving insights, wisdom from them. Okay. This could also be someone other than you, right? Because the 7th house is others going through a major breakthrough in their consciousness where you may be called on to be of support for them at this new moon. Love you, Geminis. Okay, Cancers. Sagittarius is in your 6th house. So this new moon, you want to be honest with yourself about your health, your routines, okay, your day-to-day work, pets, also the 6th house. So, you know, Cancer, you're one of the most empathic signs where if you don't have strong boundaries, that can affect your physical body. I'm feeling guided to say that to some of the Cancers. So this new moon is like great wisdom that can come through by being honest with yourself about your health. I like that we've got Mars in trine to the new moon in your 6th house. There could be maybe some positive new routine, wellness, fitness, diet, whatever it is that you learn about to help you be more free. Sagittarius. Breaking free from routines that have been holding you back. This is the house of Virgo. So this is a good new moon, Cancers, to like write a whole list, like how Virgos do. They write very long lists about everything, about just what isn't working in your life that's a part of your day-to-day routine, that's a part of your health, and what changes need to be made. Okay. positive energy coming into your work and your health by looking at it honestly. So love you, Cancers, so much. Okay, Leo, sun, moon, and risings. You're having this Sagittarius new moon in your 5th house with Mercury retrograde there. This is the house of Leo. So this is really like, this is about you. This is about you, your gifts and talents, your boldness, your confidence, your creativity. Where are you at with being you? Okay. I've been noticing many Leos having a very hard time recently because it hasn't really been fun on the planet. It's not really fun at the moment. It's going to start getting more fun in 2025, 2026 when the outer planets enter fire signs. But I've been noticing the Leos have kind of been like, it's been challenging for the Leos. It's been, you guys are naturally very confident. Some of you have had your confidence tested. Some of you are just not really enjoying it here right now. And this is a good new moon to reassess. How can you bring more fun? How can you bring more creativity? Share your gifts and talents even more with the world and be yourself. Do you feel like yourself? Inner child healing, inner child work, 5th house can be really in alignment. Jupiter in the 11th house in opposition to the new moon, have you maybe given away some power to a friend, to a group association that isn't really in alignment with you anymore? Some things for you to think about. But you are here to shine, Leos. You are here to shine. You are here to be in the spotlight. You are here to inspire all the rest of us. You are here to feel amazing and be happy and be joyous. So if you're a Leo and you're not feeling like that, okay, there's something to reassess. There's something that, there's a realignment that needs to take place. So love you, Leos. Okay, Virgos, you've got Sagittarius in your 4th house. So this is about reassessing your emotional foundation and well-being, your family, your home, looking at your ancestors, maybe talking to your family about your ancestors. I'm hearing Spirit say, have talks with your parents, have talks with your grandparents. This is amazing. If you're an American, I know not everybody's an American, but if you're an American Virgo, this is fantastic for Thanksgiving. There's going to be some really in-depth philosophical, maybe even spiritual conversations being had. Where do you want to live? How do you want to live? Do you want a family? Do you have a family? And how's that going? Right? These are the 4th house areas. How are you feeling emotionally? What can bring you more emotional fulfillment? Right? So reviewing those 4th house areas, there's a lot of wisdom that can come through with this new moon and clarity. And it's good for you for this new moon actually to be spending time at home or spending time with family. Okay, love you guys. Libras, you've got Sagittarius in the 3rd house. 3rd house is busy. 3rd house rules a lot of stuff. And you got Mercury retrograde in the 3rd house. Mercury rules the 3rd house. So this can feel wonky. This may feel confusing. And we've still got the South Node in Libra. We're almost done with that. There could be a major dissolving. I'm really feeling that for the Libras, and I'm getting chills when I say that. It's like you're being dissolved and you're being reborn from the inside out. And this is reassessing who you are. This feels, okay, this is interesting because it's in your 3rd house, but it's feeling really, really intense for the Libras right now. Do we have any Libras in the chat? Can you guys let me know how you're doing? Because I'm feeling really a huge like shedding going on for the Libras. Your local community, your friends, your siblings, what you learn, how you communicate. Reassess these areas. Reflect on these areas. Wolf Mother, it is intense. Yeah. It hasn't been easy having the South Node in Libra. I'm a Scorpio. I went through South Node and Scorpio right before the South Node went into Libra last year, and that was fucking hard. I'm going to be honest. When you've got the South Node in your sign, that's hard. It can feel really challenging. So Libra, you're almost at the end of the South Node in your sign. This new moon and Mercury retrograde in your third house of Mercury. It may feel kind of weird. It can be confusing. It can feel like information overload. But if you surrender to what you know needs to be reassessed, I think there's huge wisdom that can come through for you in these third house areas. JLT says Libra here, I'm going to guess you're saying here, between two worlds, don't know what the hell is going on, getting a divorce, lost my job, all of it. Wow, JLT, I am sending so much love to you. You're so strong. You're going to get through this. And yeah, it's not easy for the Libras right now. It's going to get better next year, January 2025. Okay. Lots of Libras going through breakups, serenity intact. A friend of mine is a Libra. She's going through a major breakup. Her partner was very abusive. When the eclipse hit her birthday this year, I knew this year was going to be crazy. Yeah. This can be a lot for the Libras. Okay. So with this new moon in your third house and Mercury retrograde, there is a lot going on. There is a lot to deal with. And I think an astrological remedy for you guys is like turn off the news, turn off the screens, because there's already so much going on for you guys that it feels like an overload to take on more. I hope that makes sense how I'm saying that. It's like an overload for the Libras, where this is the new moon where if you haven't already dealt with your shit as a Libra, with what's meant to come up for you with the South Node in Libra, it's coming up now, like whether you like it or not. So in-depth communication is really good at this time. Talking to your siblings, talking to your friends, allowing other people to be there for you during this process if you are going through something very intense. And a lot of the Libras in the chat are like, yeah, breakup, going through this. So you're not crazy. It's the astrology. Okay, Libras, love you. My fellow Scorplings, what have we got going on over here? Do we get a break or what? Sag is in our second house, which is Taurus, which is our opposite sign. And Jupiter in our eighth house, opposite Mercury in the second. Our values are going through a test. This is a good new moon to be honest with yourself about, okay, what are your values, Scorpio? What do you value? And this is also income. This is also material resources. Okay. It's interesting because Taurus and Scorpio both rule resources. So, if you're trying to, I have this intention, I want to manifest this kind of house or this kind of car, this kind of, material thing. Is that really what you want? Or was that just a program put in there? I'm hearing for a lot of the Scorpios, money is not the most important thing. I'm feeling that very strong for from spirit for Scorpios. Money is not the most important thing. Scorpio rules power. We are attracted to power. We want all the power, right? And Scorpio, you guys are very smart. You guys are very psychic and in tune. Get strong on what are your values and what material resources are you trying to call in? And is that really in alignment with you? Right? And reassess your pleasure and enjoyment of life. That's also the second house. Are you enjoying yourself right now? If not, how can you bring more enjoyment in? And Sagittarius in our second house, this can be, income streams that have to do with Sagittarian ruled areas, expanding our consciousness, doing things out of the box, doing things that make us feel free, not being normal. Sagittarius and Scorpio is not normal. Okay. So Helen says, really? LOL, love, power, and money. Yes. Okay. Love you, Scorpios, and hope that resonated. Saggies, this is your annual new moon in Sag with a Mercury retrograde in your sign at the same time. And with Jupiter, your ruling planet, in an opposition to Mercury. This is interesting that I'm hearing breaking point, breakthrough point. Pay attention to what is coming up. Very good new moon for you to be in reflection. Take a step back. I know the Saggies always like to be doing something. They like to be traveling. They like to be working out. I'm married to one. Jens always loves to be doing something, which I also have a lot of Sag. I'm like that too. But this is a good new moon. Just stop, chill out, look at where you're at, reassess self and how you're showing up to the world. I don't know why there's stars coming up. How are you showing up? Are you showing up how you want to show up? A lot of Saggies, it's been challenging with Jupiter and square to Saturn. It's going to get better. That Saturn Jupiter square is going to stop being strong when we get into the new year. You're at a turning point. Things are shifting. Your foundation is shifting. And please make some time for reflection, meditation. Allow the divine insights to come through with this new moon. And you are going to shoot for the stars. You Saggies are destined for greatness, for joy. But this is definitely a time where you've been going through kind of like a breakdown, breaking point of what no longer serves big time. And it's been kind of uncomfortable for a lot of the Saggies. Okay, love you guys. Work with it consciously. Love you. Okay, Capricorns, this new moon is in your 12th house. So, I mean, we've been talking about reviewing. We've been talking about reflection. 12th house rules reviewing and reflection and taking a sacred pause. So Capricorns, you've just come out of Pluto in Capricorn the past 16 years. This is a great new moon to do a celebration ritual, celebrate the fact that you've survived, you've graduated through Pluto and Capricorn. That's what I would suggest to you guys. Okay. Because you've just gone through the hardest transit you can possibly go through in life, Pluto in your sign. And now you're on the other side and you're even more empowered. You're even more badass. And this is a point to integrate that. If you haven't integrated that, do some journaling, Do some reflection time. Take some rest. Let yourself cry. I have my moon in Capricorn and it's very hard for me to cry. Shout out to all my fellow Capricorn placements. Like, you may be feeling more emotional. Let yourself cry. Let yourself process. Let yourself integrate the past 16 years with this new moon and be open to the insights that want to come forward for you regarding your healing journey and how far you've come. That's the 12th house, because you've gone through an amazing initiation with Pluto in your sign. So congratulations, you guys. Do something to celebrate, integrate it, and I love you so much. Aquarians, you're having the Sagittarius new moon in the 11th house. So 11th house rules our friends, our group associations, like-minded community, also our long-term goals, our gains, the age of Aquarius, technology, innovation. So similar to what I said for, was it the Leos? I'm having a brain fart. I can't remember who I said it for. The Geminis. I said it for the Geminis. Assess who you're surrounding yourself with. Assess who you are surrounding yourself with, and is that in alignment with anymore? And also assess those long-term goals and dreams and wishes that you have. Are those really what you want? Are those really in alignment with the age of Aquarius? You got Pluto in your sign now for the next 20 years as of 9 days ago. So you're being up-leveled and you're being called upon to be way showers in this new age. And likely for Aquarians, there will be intentions that will be shifting as time goes on. So this is an amazing new moon to be present with it and see what wisdom wants to come through. You're receiving wisdom about your future in the long term. How cool is that? That's really cool. So be open to that. Love you guys. Okay, Pisces, you're having this new moon in Sag in your 10th house. So this is about your work, your career, also long-term goals, similar to the 11th house. And reassessing where you're at professionally, or if you're retired, reassessing what your kind of reputation is, how you're showing up to the world, how you're being of service. And, you know, with Jupiter in square to this new moon, there may be someone in a power position or a boss that's maybe taking advantage of you, or you're not resonating, or there's something weird going on there. Look at your work situation if you're working, and what needs to be reevaluated and shifted with that. And are you even in something that makes you feel free? Sagittarius is freedom. Or are you just doing it for the money, or are you just doing it for the safety, or what is it that you want to do? This is also a huge time for you with Saturn and Neptune in your signs, and they're going to start going into conjunction next year, critical degrees. It's good to have your shit together, Pisces, because next year will be very intense. And I don't mean to scare you guys, but if there's things that aren't in alignment for you, Pisces, and you haven't dealt with those by the time we get to next year with the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, that could be some pretty big kick in the butt reality checks coming forward. So you're receiving divine wisdom about your purpose, about your career, and about your long-term goals as well. And there can be very spiritual, philosophical conversations possibly happening with older people, 10th house is older people, or parents around this new moon. So yeah, we've gone through all 12 signs and the collective for this new moon in Sag. Larry says, Meg, your Libra reading was like you were in my head. Simply amazing. Well, thank you so much for that, Larry. That makes me very happy to hear. Thank you guys for sticking with me for this video, and wishing you guys all a very, very magical new moon in Sag, not going to be a normal one, and very excited to hear from you guys how it's working with you. Want to remind you guys before I finish up that I'll be hosting my astrology predictions for 2025 live workshop starting tomorrow, Thursday, November 28th, going to Sunday, December 1st for all 12 signs. So I'll be doing the fire signs on Thursday, the earth signs on Friday, the air signs Saturday, and the water signs on Sunday. Going to share with you guys the most important astrological transits and remedies for the year ahead. Link is in the description below at beyondmystic.academy. Very affordable. It's $35 to get access to all 12 sign predictions for 2025. So go check that out if it calls to you. And all my links are below. My PayPal tip jar is below as well. And I love you guys so much. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channels. And I will see you all very soon. Bye, everybody.